Good morning, sixth graders. Welcome to technology class, week 36. And I think you guys are having a lot of fun with the coding projects. So I have a few that are in here to share. So if you remember last week, we did the commercial, the fitness gadget commercial. So we have a few fitness gadget commercials to share. So I'll pull them up. And then this week we are going to be continuing. So we're now on lesson 5. So we've passed the halfway mark. So again, if you have fallen behind and you haven't been keeping up with these coding projects, please catch up this week. It will be very overwhelming to try and do all of this code in one week or one day or whatever, you cram it into 1 hour. It will be impossible. So please keep up with this, okay? Because there's 8 lessons. So we're on 5 right now. And so again, that would be a lot to catch up with. So I'm going to shut my video off and I'm going to share a few of these. So we have our first fitness gadget commercial. This one is from Santiago. So let's see. I'm going to put it on here. I'll try to read the little captions to see if that'll help because I know it's hard to see. Hello. Are you sick and tired of your ordinary running? Then try the Frozone 3000. Do you know that the Frozone 3000 is the best-selling shoe in the market? They come in every color, green, blue, red, pink, and way more. Once you put them on, you'll never want to take them off. Really, give it a try. Oh, here comes the music. Let's take the Frozone 3000 for a run. Want to see some real speed? I think the Frozone 3000 made me run faster. Thanks to the Frozone 3000, I feel like the fastest Android alive. Oh, nice commercial, Santiago. Let's see who else we have in here. So let's take a look at Samantha. Let's see your commercial here. Let's go test these Gucci flip-flops. Hello, I used to play a lot of sports. Hello. However, these Gucci flip-flops can save old grandpa's lives too, light and affordable and cheap. I know Samantha said she was adding in a little bit more code, so we will see. Eugene, let's see what yours looks like here. Okay. So let me see. Oh, it looks like you have some code. Not done yet. Okay. Eugene's still working on it. All right. We have Caitlin. Let's take a look at Caitlin's. And I don't know if you guys realize, but you can change the background. You can change the sprite. You don't all have to always do the same one. Time to get off that sofa. Introducing the fitness tracker. I used to be lazy and not keep track of the last time I exercised. The fitness tracker can help me not be lazy. I can also run faster, and it comes in 40 different colors. Let's take the fitness tracker for a spin. Thanks to the fitness tracker, I won't need to be lazy anymore. Wow. Nice, Caitlin. Okay, so those are our ones that came in so far. So I'm going to go now into our new lesson this week. So we are doing lesson 5. Let me find it. So here we are. We're doing this one, the All-Star Passing Drill. We're building an all-star passing game where you can try to aim at a moving receiver. So let me introduce it to you, and then I will come back and we'll choose which one you want to do.
Hey team, in this Google CS First sports activity, you will build an all-star passing drill while you learn about the computer science concept called sensing. Sensing in computer science is when the computer takes in information, then uses it to make decisions. This is just like what you do in real life. People find out about the world by collecting information through their senses, then they react and make decisions based on that information. When you feel a hot stove, you pull your hand away. If you hear the music of an ice cream truck, you run towards it. I know I would. Computers and robots also sense things in the world around them and react to what they detect. Each year, students and researchers gather at an event called RoboCup to play soccer with robots. To play soccer, the robots have to sense the locations of their teammates, the ball, and the goal, and then react accordingly. Check out this video that shows a member of one of the RoboCup teams, the Spellbots, demonstrating how their robot finds and moves towards the ball.
So the robot is tracking the ball and walking towards it. As you can see, its head moves when the ball moves to be able to track it. And it moves backwards so that it can be in its range of vision, and then it moves forwards when it gets to a certain point to know to walk towards the ball. And this is very helpful in our RoboCup competition because, as we've said, the goal of the competition is to play soccer, and essentially we would like to beat the world champions by 2050. So that's basically the research portion of us studying and trying to see what we can do to better enhance the robots to play soccer as best as possible.
In 2009, the Spellbots tied for first place in the RoboCup Humanoid Soccer Championship. What researchers learn in RoboCup helps them to build other machines that better sense the world around them.
The vehicle should be able to navigate the track autonomously. So a robotic driver at work, and then it comes to a stop.
The same computer science concepts practiced in RoboCup are also used in the self-driving car. RoboCup robots need to sense the ball, goalpost, and react to the other players. The self-driving car senses and reacts to the road, stoplights, and pedestrians. In the future, self-driving cars may help blind people get around and reduce the risk of automobile fatalities. The sensing ability computer scientists like you will give them will help improve and save lives.
You lose your timing in life, everything takes you much longer. There are some places that you cannot go, there are some things that you really cannot do. Where this would change my life is to give me the independence and the flexibility to go the places I both want to go and need to go when I need to do those things.
In this activity, you'll program a project to sense when buttons on the keyboard are pressed, when sprites touch each other, and when the sprites touch the edge of the screen. The starter project gives you a passer, receiver, and a ball or puck. Choose one of these 4 starter projects: soccer, basketball, football, or hockey. Click on the starter project link for the sport of your choice.
Okay, so let's go and let's see. So they have a basketball starter one. I'll show you what each of them looks like. They have basketball, they have hockey. So you can choose the one that you're most interested in. I'll show you what they look like. There's hockey, there's football, and then there's soccer. So again, choose the one that is most interesting to you. I think I'm gonna go with, I don't know, I'm like just looking at the characters. Well, you can always change them too. I think I'm gonna go with hockey. This one looks cute. So you choose the one that you want to do and then rename it. So I'm gonna do my name. This is lesson number 5, All-Star Passing Drill. And then file, save now. Okay, so now I'm going to go to next.
In this video, you will program the ball sprite to move when the spacebar is pressed. First, click on the ball sprite. From the motion menu, drag out the Move 10 Steps block. Next, program the ball to repeat moving until it touches the edge of the stage. From the control menu, place a repeat until loop around the Move 10 Steps block. In the repeat until block, there's a space to tell the blocks inside it when to stop repeating. In this case, the block should stop repeating when they sense that the ball sprite is touching the edge of the stage. From the sensing menu, drag out the touching block and place it inside the repeat until block. Click the drop-down and select Edge. Click on the code to test it. The ball sprite should move until it touches the edge of the screen, then stop, and it does. To make the sprite return to its starting location every time the code is run, you'll use a go to XY block. First, though, drag the sprite to its starting position. The values in the go to XY block will automatically update in the menu based on the sprite's position. Then, drag the go to XY block above the repeat loop.
Central Time
Click the code.
would
The
be
sprite moves
8 p.m.
until it
Eastern
touches the edge
Time,
of the
so
stage.
7 p.m.
Click the code
Central
again.
Time.
It begins in its starting
Not sure if
location,
that would
then
be
moves
better.
until it touches the
Let
edge
me
of the
see if
screen.
it's too late.
Pretty neat. To make this keep happening for the entire game, place a forever loop from the control menu around the code. Click on the code again. The ball sprite goes to its start location, then moves to the edge of the screen, then returns to its start location over and over and over again. Next, control when the ball sprite starts moving so that it doesn't keep looping uncontrollably. First, click the stop sign. To make the ball move only when it senses that the spacebar has been pressed, go to the control menu, choose an if block and place it around the repeat until loop under the go to block. Then, go to the sensing menu and place a key press block inside the if. Click the drop-down and select spacebar. Now the code reads, forever go to the starting location. If the spacebar is pressed, repeat moving until touching the edge. Once touching the edge, run the loop again and return to the starting location. Test the code by clicking on it, then pressing the spacebar. So far, so good. Here's the game plan. Make the ball sprite move until it touches the edge of the screen using move, repeat until, and touching edge blocks. Give the ball sprite a starting location using the go to block. Make the ball sprite repeat these actions using a forever block. And finally, make the ball sprite move only if the user presses the spacebar with if and key press blocks.
Okay, so let's go ahead and add the code in. So we're going to go back to our code there. And for mine, I have the hockey puck. And again, it's going to be different for all of you because why? Because you're choosing different sports. But the code is the same. So we could get a forever block, right? And then we could have it go to a certain place. So again, why don't you start collecting some of the blocks? The best thing to do is just kind of get all the blocks out there. And then you can always play around with the values and things like that, but at least you just kind of get them all out there, try and get them in. So let's get our if space is pressed block. So that's going to be under here. Okay. Keys pressed. Repeat until touching edge. And then let's get a repeat until block. Okay. And then we want touching edge. And then move 10 steps. So let's see what this starts looking like here. Okay, so hang on, I'm gonna see when I click on it. Press the space bar. Okay, it's starting to go. Okay, so now let me go to the next one. So hang on 1 second. Let's see. Let's start getting it in the right direction.
In this video, you will program the ball sprite to rotate when the user presses the arrow keys. Then, the user will be able to aim the ball. First, make the ball sprite turn left when the left arrow key is pressed. To do this, from the motion menu, drag out a turn left block. The ball sprite should turn left if it senses the user pressing the left key. From the control menu, place an if block around the turn left block. Then, from the sensing menu, place a key press block inside the if block. From the drop-down, select left arrow key. Click the code, then press the left arrow key. Nothing happens. That's because this code only asks once if the arrow key is pressed. Since you weren't pressing the left arrow key exactly when you ran the code, nothing happened. To program the ball sprite to keep asking if the user is pressing the left arrow key, put this if block below your first if block inside the forever loop. Click the forever loop again to run the program. Now press the left arrow key. The ball sprite turns left. Press the spacebar. And the ball sprite moves in the new direction until it touches the edge of the screen. This is looking good. Now that you know your code works, you can use similar code to turn the ball sprite right. From the motion menu, drag out a turn right block. Then, from the control menu, place an if block around the turn right block. Next, from the sensing menu, place a key press block inside the if block. Then click the drop-down and select right arrow key. Finally, place this if block inside the forever loop and test the code by clicking on it again. When you press the left arrow, the ball sprite turns left. When you press the right arrow, the ball sprite turns right. When you press the spacebar, the ball sprite moves until it touches an edge, and the loop keeps checking for each of these conditions over and over again. The ball sprite has to sense a lot of things in its environment to work, whether the user is pressing the left arrow key, the right arrow key, or the spacebar, and whether the ball sprite is touching the edge. This is similar to the way you use your senses. You're constantly checking for and receiving input from your eyes, ears, nose, and skin, and you do things based on that input. Wrap this step up by adding a when flag clicked event block on top of the code stack. Here's the game plan. Make the ball sprite turn left and right when the arrow keys are pressed using if key pressed, turn left, and turn right blocks. Then, add a when flag click block on the top of the block stack. The next video will program the receivers to catch the ball.
Okay, so let's go ahead and add this in. So I'm just gonna, I just wanna make sure you guys see, so we're doing the left arrow and the right arrow, and we're making them turn left and right, so that way we can control our little hockey puck here, or whatever you guys have. Okay, so I'm gonna go to if, I'm adding in another if block. So if I press the right arrow, then I'm gonna do that right there, and then I'm gonna do if we press the left arrow, then okay, so now let's test it out. So now I press my space bar, and then see, I can start turning it, and then I can press it. So that will help me. So hopefully you guys, it's starting to make sense how we can aim with it. Okay. Okay, so here we are. Let's go to the next one.
In this video, you'll program the receiver sprites to move around, then stop once it catches the ball sprite. Click on the receiver sprite. Start by making the receiver sprite move around the whole stage. From the motion menu, drag out a move block. To make the receiver sprite keep moving for the entire game, put that block inside a forever loop. Go ahead and click on the code. The receiver keeps moving, but quickly runs off the stage. To keep that from happening, go to the motion menu, find the if on edge bounce block, and place it inside the forever loop. Click the stack again. Much better. Right now, the receiver sprite just moves left and right. To make the receiver sprite choose a direction in which to move, go to the motion menu and find the point in direction block. Add it to the top of the block stack. To make it choose a random direction, go to the operators menu, find the pick random block, and place it in the value blank of the point in direction block. The numbers you enter in this block will determine the receiver's direction. To make it go in any possible direction, put 0 and 360 in the pick random block. Click the code and watch where the sprite moves. Click the stop sign. Then, click the code again and watch it move in a new direction. The receiver can start moving in any direction now. That's pretty awesome. The receiver needs to catch the ball. To do that, it needs to sense if it is touching the ball sprite and react as soon as it is. From the control menu, drag out an if block and place it inside the forever loop. From the sensing menu, place a touching block inside the if. Click the drop-down and select ball sprite. The code will keep checking over and over if the receiver is touching the ball sprite. Next, tell the receiver what to do when it catches the ball. It will change costumes to the one that has received the ball. From the looks menu, place a switch costume to block inside the if block. From the drop-down, select the received costume. It doesn't need to keep running around once it has caught the ball, so make it wait a short bit, then get out of the way. To make it wait, from the control menu, place a wait block under the switch costume to block. To make it disappear, from the looks menu, place the hide block under the wait block. Tinker with the wait block's value until the sprites disappear at a time that makes sense to you. If the receiver hides, it also needs to show. Place a show block at the top of the block stack so that the receiver is always visible when it's running around, then it hides when it gets the ball or the puck. Finally, make this code start when the flag is clicked by placing a when flagged click block on top of the code stack. Test the code by clicking the flag. The receiver sprite should point in a random direction, move, and bounce when it touches the edge of the screen. Aim the ball sprite with the arrows and press the spacebar when you're ready to pass to the receiver. If the ball sprite hits the receiver sprite should stop moving. Keep trying until you see the code work. Wait a second, the receiver sprite never returns to its first costume after it changes. To make this happen, from the looks menu, place a switch costume to block just under the when flag click block. Select the moving costume. Click the flag again. The sprite starts by looking like it's running, then looks like it catches the ball sprite. Alright, here's the game plan. Program the receiver sprite to run around the stage using the move, if on edge bounce, and forever blocks. Program the receiver to change costume if it catches the ball using wait, show, hide, and switch costume to blocks. Make it start moving in a random direction using the point and direction and pick random blocks. Finally, program the receiver to change costumes and stop.
Okay, so let's just start adding this code in because we have quite a bit of code. So again, I'm just going to kind of follow through just to help do it more step by step. So click on your receiver. Of course, make sure you do that. Why are we doing that? Because we want to make sure that we're coding the right one here. And then we're going to add in the code that when the flag is clicked, we're going to show and we're going to switch costume to moving. So when the flag is clicked, we're going to go to show. So we have a block there. And then we're going to switch our costume to moving. Then what we're going to do is we're going to point in the direction and we could pick a random number between 0 to 360. So we have to go to point in direction, and then we're going to need to get one of our operator blocks, stick it in there, change your value. So this is just randomizing where your sprite will be moving along on the screen. And then you're going to get your forever block. You're going to move 10 steps and if on edge bounce. So get your forever, get your in motion, get your move 10, get your if on edge bounce, and then go ahead and grab your if touching, and mine's going to be if touching hockey puck, switch costume to received. So if touching, and I'm going to have to get mine hockey puck, then I'm going to go back to looks and I'm going to switch costume to received and then wait 2 seconds and hide. So let's go to the control flow. We're going to do wait 2 seconds and then get the hide block. And then that should work. So there we go. So he's bouncing around. And then remember, so that looks okay. All right, so let's move on. Let's see what happens next. We have to add more receivers.
Now that you have one receiver working, you can copy it to add more receiver sprites to your passing drill. In this video, you will create the rest of those receivers. Right-click on the receiver sprite in the sprites area and select duplicate. Do this as many times as you want receivers. It looks a little weird that the receiver sprite catches the ball while the ball keeps moving to the edge of the stage. Fix this by making the ball sprite stop at the receiver just like it does at the edge of the stage. Click on the ball sprite. From the operators menu, drag out an OR block. Remove the touching edge block from the repeat until block and place it inside the first blank of the OR block. Then, from the sensing menu, place the touching color block into the other side of the OR block. To choose a color, click the color swatch on the block. Then, with the mouse pointer, click a color that all the receiver sprites have on them. Place the OR block back into the repeat until block. The code reads, repeat moving until touching the edge or the color that's on the receiver sprites. Test the code by clicking the flag. The ball sprite should go back to its starting location when it touches the edge or a receiver. That's more realistic. Tinker around with the numbers in your code. If you think the receivers move too quickly, put a smaller number in the move block. To change the speed at which the ball sprite turns, change the numbers in the turn blocks. Explore, test, and make this passing drill your own. Alright, here's the game plan. Copy the receiver sprite by right-clicking it and choosing duplicate. Change the ball sprite's repeat until to use OR and touching color. Tinker with the values. Once you've done all that, move on to the next page to check out some add-ons.
Okay, so let's try to give it a try. Okay, so let's go in and let's copy our receiver. So we're going to duplicate, we're going to have a few receivers here. Okay, like 4 of them in there. Okay, and then let's go back and let's check out the code here. So we're adding a block here. So repeat until touching edge or touching color. And I'm going to get the color of the hockey puck. So hang on 1 second, okay? Okay, so let me go in there and get one of these blocks. So we're going to stick that in there. So if it's touching the edge or if it's touching a color, so let's get a color that's on, trying to think, maybe we could use the color that's like, maybe like this color, because it seems like they all have that color. I don't know, I'm trying to think. Yeah, maybe we could use that like blue color. Let me try clicking, hang on. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's try that. All right, let me get a when flag is clicked block. Add that on there. Okay, so now we have them all going everywhere. And then let's see what happens. Woo! Okay, so we're getting it going. We're getting the game going. Hopefully it's starting to make a little bit more sense. These games can be... All right, let's check out
Great
some of
job
the
completing your
add-ons.
core project. If you haven't finished yet, go back and complete the steps in the previous videos. Now it's time to add some cool stuff to your project. Here are your add-ons for this activity. With Never Ending Game, make your receivers disappear and regenerate each time you pass to them. In passing back, the ball will always bounce back to the starting position and the receivers look like they're passing it back. Power Receiver Speed adds realistic variables with sliders that control the speed of the ball and the receiver sprites much like a video game. In Keep Score, add some blocks that will count how many passes you complete. Enjoy creating and coding with these add-on videos and do something to challenge yourself. Have fun!
Okay, so let's try and do some add-ons. Okay, so I'm going to just show you some of the add-ons. So there's the Never Ending Game. there's passing back, there's power receiver speed, and then there's keep score. So let's try and think which one would be the most interesting for you guys. Maybe we could try the keep score one. Let's
This
see.
add-on will keep score in your game so that each time you complete a pass to a receiver, the score will go up.
Let's
Click
see.
Make a Variable, name it Score, and click OK. Computers store changing information in variables. In this case, you're going to put the score in the variable so the computer can keep track of the current score. Next, do two things. Start the score at 0 and raise the score by 1 each time a pass is completed. To do this, first click on the ball sprite. At the top of the code stack, just under the When Flag Click block, place a Set Variable To block. Make sure that score is selected in the dropdown, then enter 0 in the value space. This will make the score start at 0 every time the flag is clicked. For the second task, make the score go up each time one of the receivers touches the ball. Click on a receiver sprite to see that you've already programmed a conditional that checks if the receiver is touching the football. Into this conditional, place a Change Variable block. Make sure that score is selected in the dropdown, then type 1 into the value blank if it's not already there. This conditional reads, if the receiver is touching the ball sprite, add 1 to the score. Great, but there are 3 receiver sprites in this example, and the score should go up if any one of them is touched. Add the same change variable block to the script for each receiver sprite in your project. Finally, to see the score, check the box next to the score variable in the data menu. Test it by playing around a bit. Watch the score go up by 1 each time you hit a receiver, then watch it start over at 0 each time you click the flag. Here's the game plan. Make a variable called score. Set the score to 0 each time the game starts. Increase the score by 1 each time any of the receivers touches the ball sprite. Have fun!
Okay, so here we go. Let's just try this add-on because I think it would maybe make the game a little bit more interesting. So, and then of course you guys can try other add-ons if you want. Okay, so we have the score. So we're gonna do our set score to 0. So we'll get that and we'll put the set score to 0. And then we're going to go to each of our receivers. And then if it touches the hockey puck, we're going to add I just want to make sure I add it into the right. After we switch the costume, we'll change score by 1. So just add in the change score by 1 block. Hang on. Change score by 1 block. Score by 1 block. Change score by 1 block. Okay, so now when we play the game, what will happen is it will score every time it touches with one of the receivers. Woo! So let's see. So just makes the game a little bit more fun, right? It was getting a little like just to be able to have a score on there. So you guys, what you're gonna do is you're gonna choose the game that you want. So there were different sports. I just chose hockey. Choose whatever you want. Put in the code to get it moving, and then you could choose one of the add-ons and just put one of them on. Maybe if you want to do the keep score, that's a pretty easy one. And if you do any additional ones, it will be plus 5 points. What I do ask is that you email me. So just copy and paste the link to your final project after you've done File Save Now. And if you did do any additional add-ons, just tell me which ones. So when I go look at it, I can check and then I can give you the additional points, okay? All right, guys, so have fun. I think you'll have fun with this game. Of course, be creative. If anything you want to add in that you thought of, you're more than welcome to. All right, so we'll be looking forward to seeing your games. All right, bye, guys.